To find out what's going on at LaGuardia, JFK, and Newark, let's check in with Port Authority Aviation Director Charles Everett. Welcome, Mr. Everett. Give us the lowdown. How ready are the local airports for the rain and the cold? And, of course, what should travelers expect?
Good morning. Good morning. We are starting our busy holiday travel period between Christmas and New Year's. Tomorrow, 23rd through the 2nd of January, we're expecting some 4 million passengers to go through our 4 airports, JFK, LaGuardia, Newark, and Stewart. The busiest travel day will probably be tomorrow at 430,000 passengers. So we're asking passengers, given the weather that we're anticipating, to make sure you check with your airline carrier in advance of leaving so that you know the status of your flight. We're also asking you to think about what you're packing so that you can expedite your travel. You can check tsa.gov to give you the prohibited items list. You can also check the Port Authority's website, panyj.gov, just to give you information on wait times going through the TSA checkpoint, as well as parking availability. You can also pre-book your parking at the airports before you come. If you're traveling domestically, 2 hours in advance at the airport, and internationally, 3 hours in advance.
Okay. Well, we're already seeing a lot of cancellations and delays. Just curious, though, because, airlines will say you can change everything free of charge. But do all airlines adhere to the same rules for delaying, canceling flights, et cetera?
No, not at all. Different airlines have different policies, so we are highly recommending that you check with the airline carrier that you are actually booked on, because they may vary.
Okay.
All right. Well, give us a sense of your job when the weather is bad and there are flight delays. You mentioned at the top you've been very, very busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is very busy. We are putting additional Port Authority staff on hand. There's more airport operations staff, airport customer experience specialists. We even have additional Port Authority Police Department staff. We want to make sure that your travel through our facilities are as convenient as possible and do not impact your travel experience at all. So we're making sure that people are there. We're working with our partners, the airlines, as well as the terminal operators, to make sure that the concessions are operating and to make sure that you get whatever you need when you're at our facility.
Well, can you give us an idea of what the trickle-down effect is? I mean, we're likely to get more rain. Other areas, as we know, are getting major snow. So if other airports shut down, how does that affect us? And at what point do we find ourselves having to shut down our airports as well?
Well, this type of weather impacts visibility, and that can certainly cause delays and cancellation. And even if it's not snowing in the New York metro, it may be snowing at other places, and flights get delayed and canceled. And so that causes those types of issues to impact our facilities. We rarely close. However, we actually start preparing for the next winter season after the previous winter season in terms of looking at what went well, what didn't go well, and making sure that our plans are appropriate. We coordinate with the Federal Aviation Administration Air Traffic, and we put together plans to make sure that we can deploy our people as well as our equipment efficiently and safely. We do a lot of maintenance on the equipment, and we actually do dry runs during the summer months at night to make sure that we know the best procedures that are able to make sure that we keep our runways open.
Now, look, we know that the delays at Newark can disrupt traffic, across the country. I mean, any airport across the country, they have a problem. It's probably going to trickle down to other airports. I mean, talk about the pressure, though, to keep things moving despite the bad weather. You guys have to kind of, ignore that pressure because we're talking safety here.
Absolutely. On an average day, we probably experience about a third of the nation's air traffic in our airspace. So we're very accustomed to handling a lot of demand for air travel. And so we interact with our partners, dealing with the FAA, dealing with the airlines, making sure that we stay on top of what's happening with load factors and schedules, and making sure that we can accommodate those aircraft on the ground.
All right, and before we let you go, one real quick question. What are the rules right now at our airports about wearing masks, especially with the increased number of COVID cases going up?
Well, the health agencies are recommending that masks be worn when you are in a lot of in crowds in public locations. There is no mandate, but it's highly recommended.
All right, Charles Everett, Port Authority Aviation Director, thanks so much for being with us, and good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
You too. Happy holidays.